Good morning, everyone. Happy 4th. Hopefully, everybody had a safe and great one. I know that we had a great one yesterday, so um, I still have all my fingers, which is a good sign. But well, back to reality, right? So here's what I am going to work on today, which is going to be removing the suspension on the 69 fastback. So the coil spring, upper control arm, lower control arm. Good thing about it is that there is no spindle, so don't really have to deal with that headache. But pretty much going to compress the spring, remove the shock tower caps so the shock comes out. That's removing these two, and then there's also two on the bottom as well. But I will get more into detail on that. Just wanted to let everybody know what the game plan is for today. I also just received confirmation that they are going to ship the parts that I ordered yesterday, which should work out pretty well. I am going to be on vacation next week, and if the timing is perfect, the parts arrive when I expect them to, I should be able to start doing some work in the back of the car. And of course, I get it, still needs a lot of work back here, but what I do want to do maybe sometime this week is get some 3-inch square tubing and weld it from rocker to rocker so I can cut the remaining of the floor, or what is left of the floor, and that way we'll add some rigidity to the structure of the car, and we'll also be able to move it into the garage. So that is the game plan for today, and I am going to go in, change real quick, and then I will get to work. Alright guys, so here's the game plan for today. We are going to start off by removing these bolts right here. These four are for your steering box that is right over here. And it's going to be interesting because the frame is rotted out. So usually you are going to be putting some pressure on there. So with my luck, it'll probably twist it, which will be fun. And then we are going to remove the upper control arm, which we have to compress the coil spring and remove the shock. And to remove the shock, you have to remove these two, and that'll cause the shock to rotate a little bit, and remove the shock cap cover. This guy right here, usually it has 3 bolts that are on it, but this one is only, looks like it only has 1, and same thing on that side. And then once we do that, we'll compress the spring with a coil spring compressor, and then slide it out, and of course the shock will be removed, and the upper control arm, and then the lower control arm, that's going to be held by this bolt right over here. So we're going to loosen that out, and then we will go on to the other side, which we will remove that idler arm, which is held on by 2 bolts. And I will make my way over there to show you guys. So that is going to be held by these 2 right here. So those are 9/16, and going to have to use a ratchet and a wrench as well to hold the nuts from spinning. And then I'll do the same thing on this side. And notice how this one, it has the cap or the cover, and those or this gets removed by these 6 nuts and bolts that are holding it on. So I'll take all that off. I'm not gonna show you guys the labor part of it. I'll probably do like a little bit of it, but it's intense right now because most of these nuts and bolts are probably gonna end up breaking, and they are rusted on there, so it should be fun. But I will get back with you guys in a little bit and show you guys the progress. Okay guys, so the easy stuff, just unloosening the shock from the cap. So you could kind of see the whole front move as I'm loosening this, which is great. Nice. Alright guys, so here we are going to remove the idler arm, which is these 2 bolts right here. They do have nuts on the opposite side, so I did put a wrench on the opposite side of the frame. But pretty much all we're going to do is just take these guys out, and hopefully it shouldn't be too much of a problem, but it is rusty, so. Alright guys, so kind of what I figured was going to happen was the bolts are so rusted that they just snapped in half, and you could see how how rusty they are. Part of my hole in my gloves, but yeah. So it made it a lot easier because the bolts snapped off. So all I gotta do is just hit it with a punch or a hammer, and it should fall right down. But that's the idler arm, okay? So just to show you guys, just you know, pretty much take a hammer to it. Alright guys, after a couple of more good whacks, we finally got it out. And this is, wow, look at that. Those are the bolts of it. It should go through the frame, and obviously they look pretty messed up. So, shows you how long that car has been sitting there. Alright guys, so I'm going to get back to the rest of it, hopefully start removing the gearbox. Alright guys, so next up is the steering box, which consists of these 4 bolts. And the good thing about it is that this one doesn't have any nuts on the inside. The socket is a 5/8, and we are going to remove these right here. So this one is being held on by 4, and that's the gearbox. They cut the pitman arm, it looks like, but whatever. Alright, so I'm gonna put the 1/2 inch on it and use a cheater pipe and pretty much put some torque on it and get it out. Alright, so here we go, putting some muscle in it. And you can just see the frame turn or twist as I'm putting torque on it. Alright, so I have pretty much all of them loose now. I'm just going to keep on turning the ratchet and get them out. But alright guys, I will take a video or resume the video when I finish untightening them. Alright, so got all the bolts out. And so 2 of them snapped off. The one on the lower corner right here was a 9/16, and the other ones were 5/8. But here's the way they look. So obviously the rust, a lot of water got trapped in there. Needless to say, I mean, look at the frame, right? But yeah, so all I gotta do is just hit it with the hammer a couple of times, and then it should fall down. So I'm gonna grab the hammer, guys, and just give it a couple of good whacks. You could kind of see the whole frame moving, but I'm gonna give it a couple of good whacks, and I'll see you in a bit. I will shoot the video when I finish taking it off. Alright guys, so here is the steering box, and as you can see, the one that broke off, it's still stuck in there. Gotta heat it up and get some vice grips, and then just unscrew it out. But that's the gearbox. So next up, it's going to be the control arms and the coil spring. Kind of running into a difficulty with the coil spring. I don't have the right clamp. That one doesn't fit, so I'll figure that out. But just giving you guys an update. Well, here, let's look at the frame where the gearbox was sitting. So it mounts right here, and that's a plug. But go.